that's one thing I'm leaning into now is like my Egyptian features and shit like that. Because, you know, growing up in DC, Maryland, Virginia, certain areas are very whitewashed. And I'm like, oh, that's the standard of beauty. And then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but you're gorgeous.
That's not.
What do you care?
I'm realizing that now, though.
Oh, girl, please.
Ever since then, man.
Girl, you're sickening. Don't even try it.
Sickening. I'm seeing that now.
Now?
Yes.
Those people, they're busted in DC.
No, exactly. They're busted. To the ones
you look like something in the Smithsonian, bitch. Okay, please. They can pay. Tell them to pay you Nooch, honey. Please.
You know what? We didn't use intro yet, but I'm keeping that for B-roll because
it's true.
When I'm having a bad day, I'm like, yeah, you know what, bitch? Not only are you the hottest thing on the street, you're the hottest thing in the Smithsonian. Fuck the other dinosaurs.
You like something in the Smithsonian. What do you care about what they say? You know what I mean? Like, please, those people.
You're right.
They're so tired.
They are. Okay. Again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Me, Myself, and I'm Joey G, Bad Bussy, whatever you want to call me. And today we have a very, very, very fucking special guest that I actually have to give a formal intro to that we have written down here, and you may know it as well. Ladies and gentlemen and queens, etc., etc., etc. From this day forth, we the people proclaim a moment in dance music history. The gods have blessed with a performer that will mesmerize, enchant, and intiliate your soul. With these box of chocolates, mwah, I present the incomparable Kevin Aviance. Welcome to the show.
That was so cute. Thank you.
You had to. We had to.
That was like, oh my God. There's a guy that I knew. And he always talked like this. He talks like that normally on Joe Uloa. And he always, Kevin, darling. He just talks like that. So I had to put it, when I did my first album, I put him on the front of this album and I just wrote this whole thing out. And he goes, really? And I said, yes, I would just say it like that, but say it like Joe would say it. He goes, these box of chocolates.
These box of chocolates. Was he British? I'm assuming.
No, he's from New York. Yeah, he's Latino and black.
Wow,
but he's wonderful. Joey Loa is amazing.
Love. Amazing. Wow. So for those of you who don't know, who don't have taste nor just aren't educated, that is fanfare from your album, Box of Chocolates, your debut.
Yes.
If anything, what an excellent debut. I was listening to it on the train yesterday on the way back from the gym, and I was like, this shit still hits.
I really love that album. The second album I'm not really too proud of. But then when I did my mixtape, the Raw.
Yeah.
That's where I think the second album should have been. It was just wrong place, wrong time. I got to work with really amazing producers for the second album, but I kind of like sold myself to the devil, signing that contract and everything. So it was kind of like, they just kind of like whitewashed me. And, I mean, the songs were cute and stuff, but then when I heard like one song, I couldn't even sing at all. I mean, I'm a baritone, and they had me like, na, 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 and I couldn't get that high.
Nope.
And I go hear the song, and I'm singing perfectly fine. I said, that's not me.
That's not me.
That's not me singing. I can't, that's not me. They said, yeah, it is you. And then they went and they matched somebody's voice with mine. And I was just like this going.
It was like a glitter moment. Like what they did with Mariah's character.
It was like one of those things where I was just like, wah, wah, wah. I ended up having 2 number ones off that album. And then 1 number one off that, 2 number off the second album. And then they shelved me. Gaga was just coming out. And they were like, they put the wrong cover on the album. I had the cover already done, but they didn't know how to promote me at the time with the
because you were signed to Interscope.
No, I was signed to Centaur. So
Centaur,
which is a gay label, and they didn't know how to deal with me.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Are you guys kidding me?" We had the end caps when they had end caps at the stores and stuff, and they gave us end caps. But they were so nervous about putting this really beautiful picture. Instead, they put this really avant-garde, like the crazy, like tribal thing that I did.
Yep.
It was I was very evil about it. And then later on down the road, they changed the album cover to the regular one, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? But you know, it was just a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, we could have just listened to the artist, perhaps. Yeah, maybe crazy concept.
Yeah, people need to listen to the artist more. You know, artists are not sleeping. You know what I mean? We love the guiding, but
yeah, completely.
But like, guide us with icons. Don't guide us with not being icons. You know,
exactly. And you know, here for business advice or business guidance, things that those people are experts in, whereas
Right.
artists are experts in being artists and practicing their art.
Right.
Let the expert be the expert.
Yeah.
You know, so for those of you who, once again, who don't know Kevin Aviance is a legend, an actual legend. Like, I'm not just like overusing that term or being funny or trolling or whatever. Like, I mean, like, this is a fucking legend. Legend to our community, legend to dance music, legend to nightlife, musician, as you mentioned, fashion designer, and nightlife personality. And yeah, I'm just like still gagged and thankful to have you on our show. But before we get into like music and dive into all of that stuff, I really wanted to start off at like the origins of Kevin Aviance, because we mentioned before we started filming that you're from Virginia too. And it's funny, we have kind of in a way a very similar path.
Yeah.
Like I'm from the DMV area as well, from Maryland and DC, lived in both. And then I went to Miami. I did school there. Yeah, I did school there and I did drag there.
Okay.
So I did drag school in Miami and then I did actual school.
The drag
college.
in Miami is off the chain. I don't care. If you want to go learn drag, like learn it properly, I mean, all the ins and out, let a Florida queen teach you. I mean, they're just like, they're such diehards and they're such, it's such a lifestyle and they don't have shame there and they just do it, and and they have no problems bringing people in. I really so happy that I got to meet Kim Yao and Dora and some other kids I knew down there, and it's just they really like. I was just the club kids, you know, and I really wanted to do drag. So I went to oh my God, TP Lords,
love TP Lords.
Wow,
Fantasia.
This girl needs to be on RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know why she hasn't been on there yet.
I don't know how.
I think it's ridiculous.
I really don't know how she hasn't already. All her.
They need to put this girl on TV. She deserves that. She deserves that. She's like, I wish she would get on that show.
Yeah.
I know she's tried probably. Yeah, I'm sure she's tried, but it breaks my heart that these girls are not letting someone through that it could really slay it. I mean, like slay it to the next level.
Completely, really take it there.
Like take it there. You know what I mean?
And we've only seen like certain like instances of
right.
dolls that really bring drag to the next level. But I think that only happens maybe every other like season.
It's really sad TP has not been on there yet. I've been really like upset about that whole thing. I'm like, I don't want to discourage her because she's not only a friend, but she's also a fan. And I just wanted to be like, you know, she's so I look up to her. I really do. I love her so much. And
so it's just funny that we have like a similar path. Like I was doing like your research and I was just like, we really have like the same kind of trajectory from DMV area to Miami to New York. So I thought that was cool. And so I wanted to start in your life growing up in Virginia. You grew up in.
I had a great life growing up.
Richmond.
Richmond was fun. I started doing drag in 5th grade. And
how was that? What was your first time in drag?
I did sang I Will Survive live. And it was on a 45 and the instrumental was, and I stole my sister's dress and heels and her platforms, and I wore a scarf on my head. My mom beat my face, and my voice was very high at the time, and so I just sang the song, came out. But the funny thing about it is, like, I like to not when the song starts or my show starts, I don't like being out on stage until later on, like after the track is run.
Like the intro,
but that was the first time I ever done that. And that's just, for some reason, I still do it to this day. So,
really?
Yeah, I remember like, first I was afraid, I was satisfied, and go on now, go. And I come out.
Exactly.
And so they, people were like gagging and stuff, but I won the contest, so it was good. So
yeah, I think that's just showgirlship. Yeah. If anything, let the audience wonder for a second what's happening. Let them gauge your attention to the stage, and then you solidify.
Right. Well, something comes over me too, where I'm like, I kind of like leave my body when I perform. So
yeah.
I didn't know at the time that's what it was, but later on in life until now, it takes me a long time to come down from a performance. Long time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So from that first time in drag, and I saw that your inspirations were everyone from Grace to Bowie to Boy George. When you see them and then you think about your first time in drag. Did you know from the beginning, like,
well,
you were meant for
I
this?
didn't know exactly
Mhm.
that it was going to be drag. I didn't know that I wanted to be a girl because that really wasn't the problem. It was just about packaging in a pretty way,
Yeah.
basically. Was I fighting wanting to be a girl or no? I wasn't like a trans person
Mhm.
or wanting to be that. I just wanted to like perform and be another person, I guess.
Yeah.
Or another package or whatever.
Mhm.
I had Prince and Michael Jackson, all these people that were just like in my life. And I mean, they were always in my life. And I've seen a lot of concerts, so I've seen all these shows and stuff. So that all was all of my teenage years and everything up until I moved out. All I did was go to concerts and listen to records. So I was just like, that was very important for me. And that's my escape. In 9th grade, I got a picture of Boy George that passed my desk. And I stole the picture. They got a lot of loss. I gagged on this picture. It changed my life. I knew that right then and there that I wanted that. And I didn't know what that was. And mind you, I had Grace and everything already. And I had seen her in concert already. And so I was just like, but Boy George, for some reason, that just like
seemed like a male presenting this individual.
And he was gorgeous and he was like unapologetic, and he got a little crazy and stuff like that. But that's what I wanted. I didn't know exactly what I wanted, but Boy George really did it to me. I told him that one day at his birthday party, and I don't think he really liked that too much, but whatever. I told him in the 5th grade, it was like, whatever,
Yeah.
It was just like his, I don't know, what 50th birthday or something like that, but it was really weird. It was a weird situation. Something about meeting your icon sometimes really, really can mess you up a little bit.
That's what they always say. And like for my work, I work in radio and stuff like that. And they always say meeting your icons, it's either the best moment or it's the worst and it completely lets you down.
I've had it both ways, so it's like.
Who's been the best and worst so far?
Whitney Houston was the worst.
Really?
Yeah, when I met Whitney Houston in Milan, and mind you, I've seen that tour like 12 times or something like that.
What Whitney was this?
This is My Love Your Love tour.
Okay.
And so me and a couple of girls were flown to Milan to do the closing party for her tour and the party.
Yeah.
And to host it. So for Dolce & Gabbana. So we went there and. So I seen Whitney in all the shows. I've seen her in Chicago. I've seen her, and I sat in the same seat. Don't ask why or how. Just don't. They were just. I got the seats. Anyway, so
somehow,
I got those seats. Anyway, so I was really one of these fanatic fans. Like, scream, girl! Oh my God, sing! Hit that note! Like, just. So when it came time to meet her, I was so happy I was to meet her. Mind you, I stood in line and got my thing signed by her. I've got, I was obsessed with Whitney.
Yeah.
And so we're at the club. We had dinner, and then we're ready to go into the club because they have like this dinner and then party and da-da-da.
Right.
And she, they see she's with Bobby, and we're getting ready to go meet her. And she points at me. She goes, "Nope, not that one." And I was like,
"No way!"
And I gagged. I was like, like
no.
They pointed right. She said, "No, not that one."
I could hear it in her voice.
Yeah.
Nope, not that one.
Yeah. She was. I was like, I was mortified. I was just. I was like,
baby.
I was like this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? There's nothing I could do. There's nothing I could do. And it's just like, well, okay, it's fine. Well, and so that plane ride back to New York was not.
No.
Cute. I was on my friends, the girls over there, they were like, I was on them like, what? I was in a bad mood.
You sailed back to the
sorry, girl.
States in your tears. Wow.
Yeah. So that taught me a lesson. So
maybe, hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully it was a bad day for her, but perhaps wasn't her best moment. Maybe.
It wasn't a moment for me at all.
But
she chopped me like a ball, honey. She chopped me like a category. Bam.
Right, exactly. She said it's a chop. It's a chop for me. That one, chop.
Not that one.
We're not judging her. Nope. Put the cards down.
I was
chop.
like,
wow. And who was the best interaction or meeting?
The best one would be,
Which you've had a lot.
yeah. Janet Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
Incredible. I met her in her home, and it was her birthday, and they hired me to come sing Happy Cunty to her on her birthday. Wow. Her stylist and stuff. So I got to sing. She was coming out of her gym at the Trump Tower, and I was there when she came out of the out of the doors.
Floating.
Because she just finished working out. She's leaving to go on a plane like at 9 in the morning. So it was early in the morning. And I go, she opens the door. I go, cunty. She goes, oh. That was just. So apparently her makeup artist at the time, Kevin Aucoin.
Yep.
I don't know if he had passed already, but he played cunty the whole time. Every time when he did her makeup.
Wow. So. This was which era, Janet? This is
Janet, but it was All For You. Get it? Yeah.
Like 2001, 2002-esque.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then she came to see me perform. I did a command performance for her because she was going to be at Splash, and we were performing at me and my team were performing at Roxy that night, and they asked us to come over and perform for her, and so we did. And
wow. Then
I saw her several times after that. She's on tour. I'm on tour. Doing my club tour. She's doing her stadium tour.
Right.
So we have been in the same cities and stuff like that. So she's just always been sweet, so sweet to me, so like incredible.
She seems like such an angel, and she's a type of performer I admire because, she's infamously known for being shy or reserved. But on stage, she's
live,
a powerhouse, which like you were kind of even going to before, talking about getting on stage and that adrenaline. Yeah. I love seeing somebody being fully taken over by a different character.
Definitely a Jackson. I mean, in that sense. Like, she's like, and that's like iconic to me. So, she was really sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah. You saw the Lifetime documentary too?
Yeah.
It was too good.
Yeah, it's really good.
All the B-roll of her taking the Rolling Stone shoot and everything. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like a major time. The time was major, And the thing about she's doing it now, and she looks so good, and she, she's like flexible. She's doing great. You know what I mean? She looks great.
She's dancing these girls down.
She's dancing, no joke. Still,
her at Essence Fest, I watched that whole live stream. She lit that shit up.
She really did. So
she was amazing. You also worked with Madonna too. You're on the Secret video, which has always.
And Madonna
been
was really cool too.
Song.
She's cool. She's cool people.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting her. She was really cool.
How did you get called for?
Well, I had to tell you the truth, the real truth.
Okay.
So I had a one night stand the night before, 2 nights before.
Okay. Yep.
And so me and this guy met, and we whatever, and. So the next morning, we're at the Paramount Hotel, and that O.J. Simpson thing had just happened. So we're watching TV, and so the next day, he gives me a call back. He goes, "Listen, do you have a portfolio?" And I said, "Yeah, I have a portfolio. I need you to take it over to this casting director for a video." I said, "Oh, okay, whatever." And this is when the girls had portfolios,
Yep.
So I do that, and got the job, and they called me back and very secretive about it. And so they said, well, you got the job. And they said, okay. I said, well, who's it for? They said, did he sign in? Yeah. I said, yeah, I signed everything. Said,
yep.
It was for Madonna. I was like, what? What Madonna? And they said, yeah, it's for the video. And I said, okay. So I couldn't really talk about anything until I did the shoot. So the next day I had to go to the shoot. I had to go to Harlem, do the shoot. And they had these long nails on me. They had me like dressed up like this like a call girl, like
corseted down,
like this like this wig on and everything that I brought. And so I was like, okay. So when I've been there all day. They did not film me yet, and we're in the like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I've been there all morning, all day. And so they said, oh, they're ready for you now. And I said, but Madonna wants to see you. And so I went to go see her, and she had the most gorgeous New York boys in her in her bus, and they were like sickening. I mean, talk about sickening. And this is her doing the Versace, I think. Like, she's wearing the Versace slings, and her hair is like
that bedtime stories.
That hair and
the little.
And she's that plump, but she's kind of like you know when girls get that look, like it's just like, I don't know. She's very bedroom.
Yeah, she was extra pussy that era because you know she was coming off of erotica.
Right. So she's feeling very like, this is before the baby and everything. So she's just like, she's a star. She's a star. She's just been on American Music Awards, and she read Aerosmith and said,
yes.
So I told her, I said, you know, I really loved the way you handled that. You handled it like a lady. She goes, really? I said, yeah, because people were ready for you to be upset or rude or just like be, you know, crass or whatever. I said, but you just shucked it off like nothing. I said, that was really hot. She goes, thank you. And so the boys are right there. I'm like this. Okay, so I'm in drag, right? And she goes, where's the costume girl? She said, come here. Why is his tit so big? She said, he doesn't walk on the street. He's a high society.
Yeah.
She's like, what is she going with this? You know? She goes, so make them smaller. We don't have anything. She said, we'll make the bra. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go, because she had ordered some soup for us, some black bean soup that came from a restaurant. She said, no, stay right here. They're gonna measure you for another bra. I said, aww. She said, and they're gonna get it done before I leave, and I'm leaving soon. And I said, okay. So I stood there and just waited. So I'm sitting there right there, and they're measuring me for a bra, and I'm like this, and these boys are like, you know, they're looking at me, I'm looking at them, I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they had that bra made.
Wow. Done.
Some elastic, pulled it together. They shucked that shit real fast.
That's a boss. That's a fucking boss.
And they said, all that jewelry, you know the jewelry? She said, all that jewelry I had, she said, put all that gold jewelry on him, and then, you know, she said, he should look better. I want to see it before I go. And so she looked at it, she said, that's perfect. She said, she said, you'll be fine. I said, well, thank you, girl. She said, no problem. I said, talk to you later, bye.
What a diva.
I mean, she was just like so... She was so, she's no joke.
Yeah. She seems like a fucking,
you know,
boss. Like, even when you watch Truth or Dare, she's about her shit. Anything that has to come close to her art, she's there to protect it and make sure it's the most refined thing before it gets.
I call her lovingly Madudu. Madudu.
Yeah. Have you seen any of her shows recently, or she's
I went to concert. Yeah, I love it. I love everything she does. Everything, you know. She's an artist. I just wish Dolores had gotten it together. So I wish she had asked her mom.
And just, do you like necessarily like follow in her footsteps in a way? Yeah.
Like, I just think that her first track wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bop. It was a boop.
It was a boop, exactly. I think,
you know, and that's fine. But I just think your first track, I just think you're that girl.
Being Madonna's
you're not gonna be Princess Nokia. You're not gonna be Jungle Pussy. You're not gonna be all those girls.
Right.
Those girls. Those girls are not to be messed with. Okay. Those are like that is the new wave. Okay.
Completely.
And I understand what she's trying to do, but you also are Madonna's daughter.
Yeah.
And you need to ask, and you need to know your power, girl.
Use those connections,
because you are that girl, and you could be that girl.
Yeah.
And don't wait until the third single to get there. Get it done now.
Now, exactly. You're the actual.
And why you change your name? You're Lourdes. Period.
Lourdes is cute. What is she going by now?
Like Lola? I don't know, something weird. It's just weird.
Either Lola or Lourdes. Even Lourdes is such a
Lola's
name.
Fine, but Lourdes is sick.
Lourdes is so sickening.
It's sickening.
And so, she doesn't even have to worry about the whole Lourdes, Lord.
I just think she's just like, you know, she's trying so hard not to be who she is. And I'm just like, girl, you can't change that. You are who you are.
See, it's like
you is, girl.
If I was fucking Madonna's daughter, I would let everybody know that I'm Madonna's daughter in every fucking room.
You don't have to do that. She doesn't even have to do that at all. It's just like she could just be, but just, you know, she can dance, she can sing, she can do all this stuff. I just don't understand why she is not having the bop. She needs the bop.
She needs to, and it's not like Madonna hasn't worked with everybody.
She needs a bop.
Point.
You need a bop. Okay, I don't care if it's a slow jam or whatever the kids be. What you need a bop.
A fucking. Bop.
Sorry, you need people to remember that stuff. I can't remember this last one. All I remember is that she was next to a graveyard.
Exactly. That's the only thing I remember too. I saw the thing on Instagram.
And you did a split in the ocean that no one can see.
Yeah, I was like, do I want to go to Spotify and actually listen to this? I was like,
no.
I was like, I'll put it on Ray of Light.
I was so ready for it. I was like, oh no, because I've been saying over and over, this girl's going to turn in. And maybe she did turn it. Maybe I'm just too old and I'm not getting it. Okay, girl, fine. Tell me I'm old, and that's fine. But I know one thing: a bop is a bop.
Exactly.
Honey.
You've top charts a few times.
I want a bop. I want a bop
or two.
And it's summertime. I want a bop.
Yeah, buy all the sad songs and shit. Like, leave that for the fucking fall when like the daytime savings changes happen or whatever. So then I could cry at fucking 4 p.m. and it's dark.
Like I want that first song needs to be something.
I want to twirl in my little skirt.
She can even do Latin music. She can do anything she wants. Like, you know, she would have been great if she did reggaeton. You know what I mean? It would have been hot for her. But anyway, enough about her.
Enough about exactly. I'll handle Lourdes when she comes.
I love you, Lourdes.
We love her though.
Bop,
You're always welcome. Yeah, love the song. Great song. We love it. Streaming it every second.
Oh God.
But what was your transition like from the DC drag scene, Miami drag scene into music? Like what brought you into...
I fell into it.
Okay.
I was asked to sing. I was asked to do Cunty actually, and through another gentleman, and this other gentleman introduced somebody else, and so they just, you know, when I went for the actual recording, heard the track and loved it, and that's how it happened. So it was, you know, things were going really well. I was lip syncing everything. I was just doing everything. I mean, I was nightclub girl, and everything was fine. Everything was great, and it's just something to add to the roster of things I could do. And this song Cunty was like. Was such a something. I don't such a seed that I planted. You know what I mean? And you know, and I knew the power of the song. I knew the power of what it meant and everything because it was such an underground hit, and I knew that it represented a lot for a lot of people, and it represented a lot for a lot of people that aren't here anymore. That were just like that were cunty. You know what I mean? It represented a lot, the time, the era, the late 90s. Like it was just, I'll never forget that moment, you know, doing it, and then hearing it for the first time in a nightclub. Now down to present date, it's just kind of like, you know, I never stopped being cunty. I never stopped doing cunty. I never stopped performing cunty. I just always done cunty. Cunty's just been like a mainstay. But you know, you wonder if you're your record anymore. You know what I mean? If you're your record anymore. And, you know, I've grown up. I'm not. And am I cunty still?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Could I pass it on somebody? Yeah, I could have. What it be? That's not really my job to do any of that. It's just now I'm realizing that. It's kind of like, that's the way I was talking beforehand. And then something like this happens with Pure Honey. And I gagged.
Yeah, I was going to ask you all about that.
Yeah, and so this journey of cunty has been so major in the sense of like, I never ever imagined that to be like, things are just a flash in the pan. This is not about a flash in the pan. This is about a movement, I guess, or some sort of like underground religion. I don't know.
No, I agree completely.
It's amazing.
I think it's like the second iteration of its own movement, if that makes sense, because it had its movement before when it came out, but now it's meaning something new. Even before Beyonce sampled it, like kids were putting it in like the background of like the TikTok songs and stuff like that. Like it always stood out, even throughout like my whole clubbing journey so far.
And it's part of ballroom culture, so you know, which is like the most beautiful thing in the world. Is for it to be being part of that, and you know, hearing all these other tracks that kids have done, and you know, they use the sample to just do their riffs and stuff.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. You know what I mean? Because in the ballroom, me walking in a ball, I've just chopped too many times, and it was chop. So, but to know that the ballroom have taken my music and used that as the thing, that's been my 10.
Yeah,
it's been incredible.
Yeah, that's an amazing contribution alone. And I was thinking about ballroom too when I was listening to the song and thinking about how important it is to the culture, especially now. It's kind of, I don't want to say like it's coming back because it's never fucking left, but I like that it's accessible to more now. Like they have like OTA.
Well, it's not such a thing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Which
and
is
it's like, you know, you want to come out, you're brown or you're special looking or crazy looking, or you're like you got 3 legs longer than the other legs, or whatever. The ballroom is a great place to go to get you together. Yeah, you know, because they will get you together, and They will show you community. They will show you camaraderie. They will show you a sense of mentorship, I guess. You know what I mean?
I agree completely.
And the ballroom has stars in it. I mean, stars that will gag you.
Some that have more star power than the stars that we see on billboards and MTV.
So entertaining, and the way they speak and the way the girl, you will learn, you will get your life.
Yeah.
Because you will see something that you will never ever see before. I mean, I've seen them bring out a little like a budding trans girl, you know, and she's just like you know, after she's gone through what she's gone through, now she's being introduced like a debutante ball.
Yes.
They introduce her to the ballroom. They put her in an egg, and she jumps out of an egg, like chips out of it, and she jumps out and she lays down on the ground. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, people don't understand like the message behind that and how important that is to that person.
Seeing this beautiful black like goddess come out of this egg and just bam, you know, like amazing.
Yeah, like a complete rebirth. And that's the thing. Like we love Pose, we love all that, but ballroom isn't just like kikiing and cacaing and not just like cute outfits and performances. It's like these things, and same thing as drag as well. Like these performances mean something to people. You know, like you have either a category or a few minutes to perform a song.
The artistry, the attention to detail that they go into, amazing.
Yeah, there's
like, bravo, guys. Like it's just like you know when I'm thinking like you know they go on the other side of it. It's beautiful. I just love it.
And I
mean,
so it's no wonder that the industry on a mainstream level depends on those kids.
Yeah.
For what's new.
You know what kills me about the whole thing? What I love about the whole thing is that they are controlling their ballroom. They're keeping their ballroom. They're not allowing anybody to just come in and just snatch it. Like they're soldiers and sergeants and mothers and fathers that are really respected, and they take hold and they take care of that ballroom, and they don't allow anyone to just come and just do whatever they want. And I respect them so much for that.
Yeah, because the family element is really important to entertaining the culture of it as well. Because as much as, you know, we want to give and see our culture thrive in the mainstream, we also want to keep it to ourselves.
And it keeps the kids alive, I think. You know what I mean?
I agree completely.
I think the kids are not, you know, whether it be through AIDS awareness or just any kind of awareness and saying, I was just saying, it gives you hope, you know, that I too can be just as fierce, you know what I mean? Or I agree. Can strive to work towards something. And that to me is the most important thing, especially being for the Black and brown community.
100%.
I think it's so important that we be there for the young kids, as young gay kids and young trans gay people. And
I agree.
You know, because things are not the same, you know what I mean? So
yeah, completely. And like, for me, how I see it, it's like, you know, already this world, this system that we're all living in, it isn't built for those kids, unfortunately. It's not built for those kids like us. It's not built for those brown and black kids.
But eventually, sooner or later, that architect
that's going to come crumbling down.
Is going to be built by those people.
Exactly.
And then those people are going to be the ones that are going to be that can only understand that building. And when they build that architecture, then when it goes up to the sky, those kids are going to be right there, and it's happening.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's happening.
Exactly.
And I just think it's really important. You know, I call this the new. You know, since her album came out. She literally put us back into a new renaissance.
A new renaissance.
And, you know, if anyone knows anything about Renaissance, you know about the Harlem Renaissance. This is like, these are very heavy black gay presence in the Harlem Renaissance that has linked, you know, James Baldwin and
100%.
You know, kind of can go on.
Yeah. I mean, even Basquiat, like he wasn't queer from what we know, but he was a part of it. Yeah, for sure.
And so I just think that right now we're living in that renaissance, and it's just like the music, the ballroom, everything. This thing is like so much bigger. It's going to be talked about after the fact. You know 100%. What I mean? So this is not just, and that's not. It's not a fad. It's a moment,
and it's just
I mean?
the beginning of the.
It's just the beginning of it. Yeah, I think we're in the thrushes of it.
I agree.
You know, I think after Renaissance came out and actually got the, you know, someone was telling me the other day, he said, "Oh, where are you giving this Black Boy Joy?" I said, "Exactly, Black Boy Joy, Black Boy Joy." Like, Black Boy Joy. And I said, "Was that like the Black Girl Magic?" He said, "Yeah, but Black Girl Magic kind of like, it appeals to all girls.
Yeah.
But Black Boy Joy is somewhat about the Black community, the homosexual, the gay experience. More, it can be about everyone.
Yeah, completely.
But since we have these problems in our community, that's kind of like
right.
That's what Black Boy Joy is. And so it's just amazing. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm happy it's that
it's happening.
Yeah,
it's fucking happening finally, and that's what I love about nightlife and stuff, and going to ballroom or going to drag nights, just seeing these people go up on stage, and there's something so unparalleled and powerful about seeing somebody in their element. Mm-hmm. Feeling like a superstar in that moment. It doesn't matter how they feel the rest of the day. They might have had the shittiest day ever, but when they're walking their category, when they're performing their number, they've rehearsed in the corner.
When you feel fab, you feel fab. No one should ever take that away from you. You should feel
no
fab.
one,
especially if you're on point. If you're on point, everything's like you worked hard and we're kids to be, and you feel your essence, then feel it, honey. You deserve that. You know what I mean? And there's ups and downs, but
for sure.
It's just, and I still go through it to this day. I go through my little depressions every time I perform. So it's kind of like, that's a given that things like that happen.
Do you have but do you kind of experience like performers' anxiety still at this point?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
to this day. Yeah.
Is it on like a technical level? Like
it's more of like I get really, really nervous.
I see.
Really, really nervous beforehand, and then I go on, and then I could like be even more like, kind of like, I really don't hit it right away, hit my performance, and then finally I'm in it, and then so hard for me to come down. Like I'm riding high, and then I'm just, whether I'm DJing, whether I am performing, when I'm performing and DJing at the same time, that's when it's the ultimate, I think, for me. And then because that's just recently happened, and I could not come down for hours. Like it was just like, wow. Like I just could not come down. Then finally I came down, and I was like, oh my God, that was so tiring. I was so tired. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it was really, really, it was like up here like this.
Yeah, because I mean, DJing is so technical too. So while you're performing at the same time, DJing, you're worrying about controlling everything. If something fucks up, unfortunately, it's your fault, and it comes down to you. So it's probably like weaning off that control once you're done and you're off stage. One thing I love is, and because I used to do drag in Miami, I did drag for like 3-4 years. I would do it between Miami and DC. I love a second number. Like my first number will be cute. My first number will be cute. But baby, that second number is everything. Because the adrenaline and that kind of like in the zone and that goneness of being on stage, it's there, that first number, but once I hear the applause and I hear the reception.
Have you started doing, do you sing or dance or anything like that?
What was that?
Do you sing or dance or anything like that?
I sing casually, and I did dance in high school, but I'm on.
So why don't you should start.
I really should.
You should just develop your own act. You know what I mean? Lip sync is great. Don't get me wrong. Lip sync is wonderful.
100%.
I can lip sync my ass off. I love the lip sync.
Yeah.
But a lot of times with people, you're in New York City, so this is the land of performance art. So you can do anything. You can do spoken words. You can do anything. You know what I mean? If you're as beautiful as you are now in drag, so I would be like, I really don't think you would have to do much, but just
you're right. I was so pussy, like so pussy. It's really wild.
It's obvious you're so pussy.
So pussy, especially like closer I got to like the kind of hiatus in my drag career. That's when I was getting the pussiest, if anything.
You guys have no idea. You gotta see this bitch's face. It's really killing me. I can't take it anymore. It's like, is that highlight or is that really your chin?
No, that's really my chin, and this is really my sweat. You're making me feel, you're gassing me up because I really thought I was having a bad skin day, but this is gonna get me through the rest of the week.
I'm really sitting here and doing this interview and looking at this bitch. I'm like this. Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, moving on.
Egyptian greatness here and pure honey. Voice crack on that was sexy. But yeah, I don't know. I just love ballroom and I love drag and nightlife in general. I think that I wanted to talk about. I just think it's so important. Nightlife to, I guess, like straight people is just like going out to a bar.
Yeah, because they either have kids to go to or they have work to go. It's like it's not a culture for them. And unfortunately, if it is a culture for them, then they are actually hanging out with the gay folks.
Exactly.
So it's like
and everywhere to straight people is a safe space,
which is fine.
Which is fine.
But I think New York has gone through a really traumatic time because it's not really in the city. It's mostly in Brooklyn now. Mm-hmm. So, and I thank God for Brooklyn. Thank you, Brooklyn.
Thank God for Brooklyn. Yep.
It took me a while to hook onto it because I was not having it.
Yeah, you're a Manhattan diva for me.
Yeah, I'm a Manhattan queen. If it's not in New York, I don't want it. I don't want it if it's not in New York, girl. I can't
it's not A, C, or E or the 6.
I have gone to Brooklyn now. I've been in Brooklyn. I will travel to Brooklyn. I'm fine. Yep. So, yeah, Brooklyn turns it.
Yeah, Brooklyn is everything. Brooklyn is having a really fun time right now in terms of nightlife, and they have parties dedicated to the comfort, happiness.
Streets.
Yeah,
like a whole street with no line signs. It's a new time of party. Like,
I love it.
The kids are very into the music. They're very knowledgeable about things. They do these little parties like Honcho. You heard about Honcho?
Yes, I have.
Like, girl, like these festivals and stuff. Like, I got
Poppy Juice 2, Bushwig.
Yeah, I like Bushwig. Oh my God, what
huge!
What? Like,
going on year 11 of it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Having all these big headliners and everything as well.
It was so funny. The first time I ever had any kind of thing to deal with anybody that was from Brooklyn, it was, I saw this queen perform and she had flip-flops on, and I was mortified
during her number.
But you know what? That was her drag.
Yeah.
It was just a drag, and I was gagging. I was just like oh girl, what's that? But then I realized, I said, okay, Kevin, you're an old fuddy-duddy. You need to stop this shit, girl, you know? But it was interesting, very interesting.
That's what I love about scenes like the Brooklyn drag scene, as well as like the Miami Wynwood scene, is that those are the places that break the rules. Because back when I was starting drag, it had to be a pleaser. Yeah. And then I would go to parties in Wynwood and that artsy district in Miami, and I'd see girls performing. It was a sneaker, but it was a fierce sneaker, must I say. And I first was puzzled, and I would just be like, okay, I'm glad their arches are supported, but this is different. And then I thought about it, and I thought about the look and the vision, and I was like, you know what? That's her thing.
Right.
And it's fierce. Yeah. If that's your fucking thing, go for it.
Yeah. There really are no rules. There are no rules.
No, there really aren't. And that's what drag was started on originally. You know, I wasn't there the day drag was born. But
in 1453, girl?
No, I wasn't even a sperm in my yet at that point. No, not
What's
even yet.
Drag? You mean Kabuki Theater? Or you mean Shakespeare? What do you mean?
Yeah, right. Honestly, very good point, because drag does go that far too. It's been everywhere. If anything,
it's everywhere. It's
everything.
There's really not a culture that doesn't have some form of man in a dress for some reason. I mean, the Berdache Indians. I mean, they have they at birth you decide whether you're a squaw or a soldier. So you know, they look at you, they're like, oh, that's a squaw and this is a soldier. You know, and that's incredible. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's drag is definitely a vessel for those that are feeling themselves, I guess. I don't know, you know, and just want to express themselves and be like, you know.
Yeah, and it's a mindset, if anything, like that sounds so head ass and cliche, but it's true. Like, I know RuPaul has a quote, you're born naked, the rest is drag, but it really is true, especially like days like today. This morning was fucking hectic, wild. I had my sister over, love her, but like we were doing a bunch of shit. I woke up late, tired as fuck, thinking about this interview today, and I'm like, I need to look good. I need to do my outfit, I wanted to paint a face, all this shit like that. And I was like, you know what, girl? Just put on the cutest outfit you can to work, throw on your glasses, even though it's 4 a.m. I get up because I work in a morning radio, so it's dark when I'm going to work. But I'm like, still, nonetheless, these glasses make you feel fierce. Put the glasses on, put on Renaissance, and you're too cunt. Nobody can touch you, and just go.
Yeah.
And I had a fucking productive, fantastic ass day.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drag is. Put on your armor and go.
It is. Put on your armor and go. It's exactly what it is.
You know? And then take it off and remembering that it's still there.
Now, there's if you're doing a performance and you make the armor even fiercer. You know?
Oh, completely. Maybe a rhinestone, maybe a tight, maybe a fish net, perhaps, if anything. Maybe a wig if that's your choice or anything. But I was about to say, I wanted to.
You just got lost in translation.
What was that?
You just got lost in translation.
Because I was thinking about a lot. I thought about my morning. I was just like, oh, Jesus. And then I was looking at this screw too, and I was like,
I know.
I was like, is that loose too? Because I'm that type of way too. I'll just like play with things while I'm talking. Like my bracelets, I keep these on and I just sit.
Yeah.
And tug and tug and tug.
I'm the worst. I'm just like, whenever I talk and stuff, I do that. I grab other things because I can go on my tangents. So it's been like a coping mechanism for me. whereas these interviews, because I can just go on my tangents forever and ever, man, and then we've like forgotten where we were. So.
But we love a tangent, though. I think a tangent.
Some children don't, girl. They're like, girl, shut up.
I just don't think they're in for a great story or for a good time. I don't know. Mariah always goes on tangents and calls them moments. And I'm like, you know what? That's my mother.
Did you hear her book?
Yes, I did.
Did you hear the audiobook? It's everything.
Listen.
Her audiobook is everything. She needs a Grammy for that audiobook.
In my 25, I say this every time somebody brings up the book. Where is she? She's right there. And so is Janet. But in my 25 years of digesting pop culture, listening to her memoir, and like I've been a pop culture, like similar to you, like we're nerds for it. Too. You know, grew up watching TRL. I'd run home from the bus to watch TRL, to watch Britney, to watch Janet and ever and be on it. But her memoir has been my favorite digestible piece of pop culture.
It's really good.
Because it is a fucking journey. And I'm no fucking author, nor I may be a communications major, but not that literate. But that book
the audiobook. Oh my God.
I go back and listen to it on the Audible app whenever I feel like listening to a story. Like as if she's like my grandma and I'm like, read me a story before bed. And I always listen to the Shook Ones chapter when she's talking about her moment with Derek Jeter. And oh my God, that story makes me, one, so horny, and two, just so faithful for love or whatever, but also just so comforted because it's such a comforting story to
I've done her hair once.
You have?
Yeah, I did.
For what event or for what?
She was having a Halloween party, and my friend was there to do her hair, and my friend brought me with him because he knew I was a queen, and so he brought me with there. He said he wanted me to do she wanted her hair really, really big. Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, I could do it because I'm a hairdresser by trade. And I get there and we're in this little, like this place before the Halloween party. And I'm thinking I'm going to the Halloween party too. And so she comes in, we do her hair and everything, we put these pieces in her and then I tease the fuck out of her hair. It's like huge. Because she wanted to look like a little pussy, like a Persian pussycat.
When was this?
I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I'll figure it out later. But so she was like a big pussycat. So she's like this Persian pussycat that she had with her. So it was her and the little cat.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We just teased this wig out, teased these pieces out that she had. But she brought out the hair. The hair was in this. The hair was in a thing.
How was she? How's that?
Oh, she was fab. She's fab.
Yeah.
Mariah's fab.
She's fun. Everyone,
she can beat her face lovely. She knows how to do makeup and everything. She's so fab. I mean, I was shocked about her. She's very girl. You know, she's a girl.
A girl's girl.
And she's really pretty. And she's like, you know, I don't know if she's had this done or not, but she's just very like, you know, like
good posture, everything tits out.
Her voice is really sweet. She has a really sweet, but it's deep,
she has that tone. Yeah.
I love her voice, and she's a pretty girl.
I like her. Yeah, people that don't get the Mariah fantasy are just boring.
Yeah.
To me, there's a story they always
not
tell.
for you, sis.
Exactly. Clearly, you don't like entertainment. Like, there's a story that people always tell about her at work because in our hallways we have pictures of like celebrities and stuff like that have been at our festivals, and she's performed at them before. Mm. And the photo they had in the front lobby of the building wasn't. I'm not going to say it was a bad picture because there's no such thing when it comes to Mariah. But knowing Mariah, it's not a picture she would approve of. AKA, it was taken at this angle. Ooh, you know her.
Yeah.
This angle with good lighting. And it was neither of the such. And so everyone there knows I'm a huge Mariah fan. And every time I bring up her, they see me. They're just like, you know, one time she had us move that picture down to the bathroom because she didn't like it. They said she came in and was like, oh, we need to get rid of that and find a better picture. And so they moved it right by the bathroom. Oh. And they replaced it with a gorgeous photo. And every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like, hey, Mom.
She's a kiki.
Which I love. Control your image. And reading her memoir.
And her makeup artist, Christopher.
Yeah.
It was a sweetheart. Sweet sweetheart.
I remember running into him somewhere in the city like last summer. I walked by him and I was like,
he's such a sweetheart. Such a sweet guy.
He seems like an angel. And I love Rhea. That memoir was insane. I was going to ask you something else before the memoir, but you're getting me all twisted and everything. With all these lovely tangents. No, but we love it though.
Let's just go back to cool. Okay, Kevin Aviance. Okay.
Kevin Aviance and Kevin Aviance only. Yeah, I know my question I was about to ask you. How did you align with the House of Aviance?
Through Juan. He saw me we were at a bar at this club called Tracks in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a long hair at the time, and I called it the Naomi Campbell party down the middle, long down, but really bad weave at the same time. It was just kind of like, because I just found out what bonding glue was. And so.
Did you just take 2 tracks in?
Well, that's how I started. I started with 2 tracks, but then by the time I finished, I had 3-4 bags.
You know what? Fierce.
And so I was party down the middle, and just like, whatever. It was really, really. It was all about oil sheen in those days, and so it was very slick and black. And
yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, Juan saw me and was just like, "Do you want me in the house?" I said, "Okay." So we were called the House of Power first, and then he had some vision come over to him and said, "We were called the House of Aviance." I said, "Okay, fine." So we tried to find a drag name, but we couldn't find drag names for me. We couldn't find anything for me, and so I was just going to Kevin Aviance. And then finally, when I started doing drag, I was like, "I need a drag name." So my first drag name was Grape Soda.
That's kind of kind. That's very kind. Grape Soda.
And then that didn't stay like that for a while. So I just went back to Kevin Aviance. So
I see.
Yeah.
Back when I was starting drag.
Really, really huge breast. I wore lingerie.
Really?
It's like 5 weeks at one time. Which
is still hot.
The mud flap girl was like was the
thing.
Was my thing. I love the mud flap girl. That girl is sitting, her hair was like this, and she's sitting like this. I love that thing. So my thing was that I didn't have silhouettes. But when the light hits it, it's like whoa.
Exactly. It's like the idea of painting really hard off stage. Then once the light comes on, then it's
like, okay. Like
the fantasy.
The fantasy is no, that's not a fantasy anymore. That's a big one.
That's a big fantasy.
That's a big girl.
That's
a big girl.
That's a big girl. That's a big girl.
That's a big girl. Like double D's.
We love a good double D though. We love a good. So who were some of your friends growing up in the drag scene at the time? Like, who would you consider your drag sisters?
Oh my God.
In all scenes. New York, DC, Philly. Not Philly, Miami. Why did I say Philly?
I'd say so we used to bring the kids down from New York all the time. So Amanda Lepore was always someone I've known for a very long time. God, I mean, this man is like the longest one I've known, like personally known. Kitty Meow, of course, and Adora. I mean, there's other queens too, like they're not around anymore. Veronica or Victoria C. Snow from Richmond, Virginia. The Snow Children. All the Snow Children were they were like my favorite.
Yeah.
Snow family. Christmas Snow was the mom, and yeah, it's just what I found out is that in every city in the United States, there's a black queen ruling it. I know it sounds really strange, audience, but when you're in the drag scene, it's like there's those girls and the black girls. And the black girls are just usually like, there's so much shows going on, so much things going on, and they got your back and everything. They're just such a kiki. And so I met a lot of them, and it was just nice to see people like me, I guess, in drag and being in that energy, in that place, you know what I mean? Representation is very important.
Matters.
And during that time, it was kind of like I didn't understand that before, but it was very, very important for me. I just didn't know we had names for
You felt comfort when you were around them, when you'd see them perform, but you couldn't put that
And
word.
the performance would come on. The performances would be like just out of this world, like,
Those girls turn. From
radio to whatever. And then when it came down to really wearing a gown and all this other stuff, these girls would just bring it. It's just like, it's and not to say that the other girls don't turn it out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. They turn out just as fierce too,
I agree.
I just had this thing for, the sisters.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think
the dolls are everyone. But it's just, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say.
But yeah. I think in that kind of reminds me, I think a lot of people, when it comes to drag, people get kind of used to the idea, especially now with Drag Race and everything. It's kind of diluted the term and just the art of pageant queens, particularly Southern pageant queens, particularly black.
And unfortunately, in America, things are very black and white.
Yeah.
So in other countries, it's not like that.
No, not at all.
They don't even
don't
talk this way.
care.
It's ridiculous.
They don't care. Whereas here, they're like, oh, they're like a
Yeah,
campy
they don't
queen,
even
they're a
talk. It's
comedy
only in
queen.
America that people talk like this, and so when you're in America, you can't help but talk the way I talk, you know,
Yeah.
because it's just the way things are.
Right.
In Europe or anywhere else, you know, Canada or whatever, it's not black queen or white queen. It's just a queen. You know what I mean?
Queens.
So, you know, it's
Yeah.
things are changing, but
Completely.
it's kind of like, you know,
It's like we take a look back and we see all these rules that not even saying like us, but our own sub communities have kind of put just out of what, and we're just like,
yeah.
why are these here? Why are these
You
labels?
categorize because there's so many categories, and the categories are put up by people, and so you put people in the spots. You know, I get read for it sometimes every now and then. You're like, no, we're not this, we're not this. And I said, okay, girl, well, you're definitely a defiant queen, aren't you? You're not a realistic queen, are you? You know, because
not a practical queen.
You know,
aren't
some
you?
drag is political, some isn't.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, every time a black queen gets involved in drag, it's political. It's a political statement. You know?
Yeah.
You know.
But no, I don't know. I just have such a love for those pageant queens.
Yeah.
Like I think they're so important because I think about queer history a lot, queer nightlife history and drag history a lot. And I mean,
do you know Jarvis's Giselle? What's her name? Barbie. I've never met her, but she's like
Miami queen?
No, she's a pageant queen. She's a Giselle Jarrell. What's her name?
The name is very familiar.
She looks fit. She just won the top pageant performance in Thailand last year.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh my
Thailand,
God.
Stunned.
This girl, oh my God, she's everything.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
She
When
does
you said
this
Thailand.
thing of Whitney Houston's and dear, are you ready for are you really ready for love,
Yep.
boy? Oh my God. Wow. This performance of this song. It's like, it's amazing. It's so amazing. She's so amazing.
Those girls over there shut it down.
Yeah.
Too. Even like Pangina, she was at $3 bill a few weeks ago. She's incredible.
Yeah.
She's incredible too. What's your favorite Whitney song or album? Now that you brought up Whitney, that just
But for Whitney song and album?
yeah.
My favorite Whitney song is
Or just your
I really
favorite.
really love all the albums.
Completely.
I like all of them except for the last one. I just whatever. I just don't
Yeah.
like. But I even love the Dear John. That album. I call it a druggy album, but
Yeah.
that album is like really weird. It's really cringy, but it's really good. But I love her singing "You Light Up My Life" on the last album.
Yes.
I love her singing. "My Man." I'm not my man.
All the Man I Need.
All the Man I Need.
Yeah.
That whole album.
Uh,
That's
the
the album.
drama.
That's the album. I thought she was like. I think she's more like lesbian in that album for some reason.
I'm Your Baby Tonight?
Yeah,
100%.
It's just something about that motorcycle or her.
The cover, right?
It's just like, you know, Robin was doing the job,
Doing
like,
something. Mhm. Love her for life.
I mean, I'm just talking, you know what I mean? And then it's so emotional. The second album was really good. It was very, very. Level Save the Day is a big favorite of mine.
Love Save the Day.
The acapella, like that and the acapella of that song, it's just so joyous.
Yep.
And then I have the first Love album. The first album was just her in that JoJo Cynthia Joe dress.
Yeah.
That
That gorgeous cover.
and that face. It's just like, I remember seeing her in concert in Richmond, Virginia at the mosque. And she was just her. She had a sweater dress on. She had her hair tied up in a little bun on top. And she has this little sweater dress on. And she comes out. She sings the album from beginning to end. And she leaves stage. And she was so perfect. She sang each song. And it was incredible. I was just
Bone
like,
structure,
what?
face,
This
her posture
body,
when she
the
sings.
heels and everything. It's like, God, we've never seen this before,
She has that one performance. I think it was some type of tribute to like the soldiers or
Yes.
something.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah,
does
yeah,
All the
yeah,
Man I Need.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I watch that like
Yeah.
every other
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And it is Whitney at her
Yeah.
peak.
Like
Like
bodysuits with
the red, with the off the shoulder.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's everything. My favorite part of that is when the saxophone solo hits.
Did you ever see the DC one? Her in DC? Yes. She has the short hair.
Yes.
Such a good album. Such a good concert.
Such a good show.
Yeah. Concert.
I'm Your Baby Tonight's my favorite Whitney project because like she was just in the best way possible. She was just so down bad for Bobby. Like she was so in love or fucking Robin. Who knows? But it's just such a like I love my partner album and I don't care how crazy
Yeah.
I sound. type vibe to it. And I love it. My name is.
I want to like this movie that's going to come out, but I'm like, I don't know. It looks a little crazy.
I think, and that's the thing. I think
that girl looks like she's got deer in the headlights. She's playing her. I'm just like, she's like,
yeah. The speaking voice is very great, but it's like everything else. I'm like, when it's Whitney, I'm like, it either has to be 200% flawless or we're not doing it at all. You cannot just.
I just don't think I just think they need to approach it a better way. Just like Diana Ross approaches the Lady Sings the Blues. Like, you don't have to look like her. Just give me her. You know, if you can, give me the essence of her. Don't try to be like her. You know what I mean? I just think you know, Diana Ross was never going to be Billie Holiday, but she turned it nonetheless. Lady Sings the Blues is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's such a good movie. It's such a great movie.
Yeah. I was gonna. Man, that reminded me of when you said Diana and then you said Billy Ross. That reminded me of a friend I have back in DC that I'm trying to think if you know them. Do you know Billy?
Yeah, I know Billy Ross.
From Secrets?
Yes.
I love Billy.
Yeah, I do know Billy.
I love Billy. I just saw her face in my head and I just smiled.
There used to be another queen named Toy. Did you know Toy?
I think so.
Toy. I don't think she's around anymore, but she's tall, skinny.
Yes.
Her name was Toy. She used to do Ross, and she used to do a fierce Ross. Ross was like, girls used to do Ross like they do Beyonce now. So back in the day. So
those ones.
Yeah. All
right, and I have 2 more questions for you because I think our studio times are up. I don't have my engineer doing too much, but at this current moment, whether it's here locally in New York, Brooklyn, or the world, who do you think is the moment in drag?
In drag?
Like the current it girl. Like if you were to be like, that's the one y'all need to watch out for, who would it be?
I think the it girl for me would be the girl. I think she's on Paris. She's the head girl from Paris, the Paris RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay.
Her name is
Nikki Doll.
Nikki Doll.
Nikki Doll.
I think Nikki Doll to me is like, she brings it because she is not catty. She's not jealous. She's like, she has her thing.
Yeah.
But she's just something about Nikki Doll. And I just recently I've been with her. Nikki Doll is like, there's stars, and then there are like constellations. She's a constellation to me. She is a galaxy. She is a
beyond a star.
She's like a black hole you're gonna get lost in. She's like you don't think you're gonna know what this girl's gonna do.
Yeah.
Like don't try to figure it out. Just be ready for it. And Chachka and Violet Chachki.
Violet Chachki.
Her aesthetic to me is so fetish to the point that it's like, it's not drag to me. It's like a
performance
deity.
art.
It's like a
Dita level, yeah.
Yeah. It's like such a
more even.
It's like a religion. It's like, and you see it on her, and you see her, and you see the way she. So I think I'm gonna put just one girl. So it's like Nikki Doll, and I think Violet Chachki, and I mean, I love Simone too.
Love Simone.
I love Simone too. I think Simone's a freak. I love that about her.
It.
I love that she's a freak. She's a total freak. That waist is just too much for me.
Her casually partying with Grace Jones the other week. I'm like, this is exactly
the waist is too much for me. That gags me more than anything. Like, there's not a corset on that bitch.
She's a star.
Yeah, she's a star. She's a key.
Born a star.
Such a key. So yeah, I think those are the 3 girls for me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That I would actually sing or pay money to go see, or whatever it can be. I really live for them. Now the one I live for, the queen I live for, is me.
Obviously. Obviously.
No, I just, listen, you can't be in this business and not not laugh at yourself and live for yourself at the same time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's no way in hell. If you take yourself that seriously, that you're just like, you're the one, girl, and you're the one, you'll find out that there are 5 other ones just like you, girl.
That part.
So
because
you have to keep it real, you know? And, you know, I love what I've created. I love the thing I've created. I love the journey I've been on with this person, with this thing. Kevin, obviously, I think to me, it's really perfect, but they have to deal with Eric's knee, which is being, you know, me, the other boy, the other person. I just stopped doing that because my therapist was like, you can't stop splitting yourself up like that. But yeah, so because this part of Kevin Aviance right now is really, really, I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just enjoying myself a lot. A lot of times in the beginning, I wasn't really there.
Yeah,
so you know, I was fucked up and I wasn't there. I didn't really enjoy everything, guys, okay? But
she's taking a moment to
things
reflect.
are different now, and I am in it, present, and it's been very, very good. Like, really great.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it. And my last question, I just want you to explain how the sample came about with Beyonce.
I don't know exactly how it came about.
Yeah.
All I know is that I didn't know anything about it, and I got a track listing from a friend, from Anita Aviance, and then I didn't understand what that was, and then that next morning when the album dropped, I heard it. I was listening to the album. I was like, this album's really strange. I didn't understand why it was just so. It was hitting me a certain way, and I didn't understand why. And I'm getting to the songs, got Past Break My Soul, and then all of a sudden I hear this track, and I'm like, and I hear my voice, I pass out.
So you listen to the album straight through, just like any other fan would listen to it. And you're like, okay, track 15, Pure Honey, let's see. Press Cunty, where you're like, what the?
I heard the
yeah.
Oh, ballroom. I was like, fizz, that is cunt.
And then when the beat drops,
my God. My blood it left my body.
Like, what do? Do you contact your management? You're like, girls, am I getting paid for this?
Well, first of all, I had to get off the floor, first of all. I passed out.
Fully.
Cold.
How long?
I don't know.
Wow.
For a while.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you.
My friend was there, was like, you all right? What happened? Well, I said, listen, I don't know what happened. All I know is that I heard, yeah, you're on the song. You want to hear it again? I said, what? And so he left, and I just cried for like 4 or 5 hours. Like I just cried. I was happy. I was angry. I was all the emotions at one time, and I didn't know what to do with it. It was just like,
especially because you had no idea.
I had no idea. And then comes to find out later on the week, the guy I did the track with, Jarrell Black, knew about it, and he went on vacation and forgot to tell me about it. And so I was like, well, I would have never changed. Listen, I like telling the story.
100%.
It's a story. It's a fair story. But, sir, you could at least let somebody know.
Like, almost got killed.
Girl, I looked at him like he was crazy. I was like, have you lost your damn mind? Because he didn't think, they got contact with him, and he didn't know because he's not really up in Beyonce.
Yeah.
He's just not.
Maybe like you gag a little bit.
He's not up in the sauce like that. He has his world, and that's it. You know, he's just not up in her face like that. He respects her, but just not, he went on vacation. What? Anyway, but yeah. All I'm going to say about the track, about the Cunty, and for anyone out there, if you have an art, if you have something you do in your life, and you believe in it so fierce, and everything's fine, and you come through with it, and it goes through the ups and downs, and you will never know exactly the impact of something will happen when it comes back to you like that. You have no idea what it feels like to be verified, to be validated, to be heard, to be like anything that was bothering me before doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
The things I was worried about,
never.
I literally do not worry about anything anymore, because that little bit, and if nothing's ever happened to me again, if I'm never to do anything ever in my life ever again at this moment in time, when I tell you I'm good, I'm good.
I'm good.
Like, I'm really good.
Yeah. And that moment,
and I feel like, the fact of the matter is that she is holding up. people that are black and gay and putting them up and wrapping our arms around them and putting up, and that's what we needed. That's what we needed for us to just get through. Guys, you know, and those people that have something negative about you or say something about the album or anything, it's not for you, sis.
It's not.
It's not for you. It's not about you. You know,
nope.
It's not for you, and no one. And we don't care about. I don't care about your negativity in your content or whatever it is to be, because you know what? It's just it's not for you. You don't have to be into it, and so you don't have to say anything. You don't have. I'd rather you just pass on by it.
Yeah.
Because it's just because you look crazy talking about how it's not this and how she did that and she did well, and so what?
She has 6 other albums.
Everybody else does the same exact stuff. They do the exact same thing. Whatever. She just got through because she followed through and went through it all and she finished it.
Yeah.
She didn't just borrow or just take it and just went on by her way. She signed, sealed, and delivered.
She did this for Uncle Johnny and the other godmothers like Uncle Johnny, which is such a special thing.
There's a reason
so
for it, you know, and she felt
it is so genuine.
There's something to be said about it. She, you know, a lot of girls have tried to do this,
we'll try to get their caca.
And that, bravo,
cute,
thank you,
cute.
But sis, I'm sorry.
They drop it once the fad's done.
Yeah, I just don't believe she's, you know, we've only seen the beginning of this, you know what I mean? And it's like, this thing is deeper, and I applaud her for not being, you know, for growth and growing up and being a woman. It's like, when I met her, it's just like, she wasn't little Beyonce.
Yeah.
Like what I knew, you know what I mean? What I knew. None of your business. I can't talk about it.
So, all right.
And she's like this woman, with kids, and she's just like this body, and she's so it's like
yeah.
And to know where I come from a black woman, and to know she is like a children. That's what I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow, this woman is like. She's so, because, you know, we left off with Lemonades, you know what I mean? That was like, Lemonade was kind of harsh. I mean, that was really heavy. It was really heavy.
Yeah.
It was heavy.
It was very heavy. It was a dark album. I mean, not dark.
Not dark, but just a heavy album.
Heavy, yeah.
But heavy. And, you know, and to go like 360 or go to the other side of this and just, you know, during a bad time and during the pandemic and everything, and to come out with Renaissance. And
Renaissance still carries emotional importance to it.
I've worked at a lot of nightclubs since then, okay, around the country. And let me tell you something. It's the funniest thing. I had been in clubs. They had played the old album in the club while the club is like hyped up. So it's like part of of course, it's part of my repertoire when I play, but it's just like, and everybody knows it. It's a key.
It's a key. It is a renaissance. Like, it's a fucking renaissance.
Yeah,
there's
it really is.
No other perfect word for that album. She knew what the fuck she was doing.
Yeah.
She really knew what the fuck she's doing. And I'm just so thankful for her for that album.
I really am too.
What that album is, like what you said, she's taking those queer black and brown people and she's giving them a hug. And she's saying,
I mean, that song that Sid wrote. Oh my God, girl. I just want my hair to grow and be long and just like.
Just have your man
and just be like.
lay on his chest and everything.
Around me, oh, sugar.
That's my shower song. Yeah. I take real long showers to it.
It was great meeting you.
It was so good meeting you too, for real. Just like the way Beyonce with Renaissance thanked people, those legends in our community that have come my way. Like, I really do thank you for all you've done, and even coming here today. You really are a legend, and you being here is so fucking special to me. I appreciate it. Thank you, my love. Tell everyone where they could find you in real life, online, all that.
Find me on Instagram, Kevin Aviance Official, and new music. I have a new song out called I'm Back. It's out right now. It's Nervous. I have a new song coming out again. A cover. We did a cover with DJ Goldman, which is my partner at this present time, and working on an album, and hopefully a new piece of music or movie music thing that's in talks right now.
Perhaps in a visual or so.
I'm going to be in Interview Magazine. I'm shooting that tomorrow. So
hot.
So that I'm excited about that. Yeah.
It's the renaissance for everyone, but it's also your renaissance.
I know.
And I'm excited.
It really is. It really is.
I'm very excited. Well,
so don't give up, girls. Trust me. Just because you're old doesn't mean you can't give it, girl. Give it.
No.
Give it. Bring it. Bring it. Give it.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Once again, I'm Joey G. You could follow me at Bad Bossy on Instagram. And till next time, thanks for tuning in. Bye. Cute.